Okay, hi. Um, my name is Felicia. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. Um, Please excuse me, keep saying or if I get like short of breath or if I need a break. I am very nervous to do this. This is my first time ever uh, publicly recording a video um, about some pretty traumatic things that have happened to me. I was gonna like do this all scripted and like I don't know, just tell my story and read from a notebook, but I'm actually just going to do this from the heart, and I'm going to tell you my story before this event, during, and then after. So I have a couple things around me right now. I don't know if you guys can see my macrame. I make macrames. I've been trying to get back into stuff that I love doing. Um, I have my candle with my prayer on it. I have my prayer mala beads that me and my son made. I have a picture of my son, his school picture, but I have decided not to show that. And then I have my favorite stone, which is actually my birthstone, and it's amethyst, which is for healing. And then I have a gift from one of my best friends. So this stuff is keeping me kind of grounded and giving me some strength to do this. Okay, so I guess I'll start from my childhood. Um, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but it was definitely dysfunctional. I love both of my parents dearly. They did the best they could, but they have issues themselves. Um, but yes, it was definitely dysfunctional. There was abuse and alcohol and addiction in the house, and I was constantly on pretty much survival mode. Um, that's how I felt. My parents ended up getting a divorce, and my mom remarried, and my dad also remarried. Um, but I'm sorry. Um, I think like the root to a lot of people's problems are their childhoods that really aren't talked about. People really don't get help for, and then like on the other side, like some parents don't even see that they have an issue with the way that they raise their kids. And like I said, my mom and dad did the best they could, but I haven't told them. I'm sorry. Um, so I pretty much ran to the streets because I felt accepted and I felt like I was a part of something. And come to find out, that was definitely, it's a lie. These streets don't love you. They will eat you up and spit you out. Um, there's been 18 funerals since I was about 17. When I got into the streets, at first it was, fun and partying and it was alright. But then I started really getting into trouble. I did some time in and out of the Deuce. Sorry, I call it the Deuce. East 22nd. I got involved in some pretty scary stuff. Um, I think I definitely went through all of this because I need to use this story as my survival, or as for somebody else's survival guide. Because I don't want any other woman to have to go through what I went through. I have a bunch of war stories and crazy stuff that I can tell you that I've seen, but that'll come down the line when I start these support groups and be able to relate with other women or girls my age or however. But I'm gonna start with my story. So I was at the Edna House, which is, if you guys are not familiar with it, it's right at the dead end of 65th and Madison. And I'll tell you one thing about that place right now. That place saved my life. It taught me a lot of things about myself, about how to treat others, about just spirituality. The one thing that really sticks out for me from that place was a lady had told me, always go back to where you found your God of understanding. And I'm not going to get religious with this because for me, I am more of a spiritual person. I am not religious, but my God of understanding. And that place is where I found God. Now, while I was there, the director, I don't really know if I can say names, so I'm not going to, but the director, while I was there, she had told me, Felicia, if you don't stay here and get help and just sit down and deal with, your trauma and everything, you're going to get out of here. You're going to start using drugs. And you are going to be somebody's bitch, pretty much. We'll keep it real. Unfortunately, that happened. Okay. About 3 days ago, I got to pick up my case file from Garfield Heights Police, and I am a survivor of human sex trafficking. I was involved in the first human sex trafficking case of Cuyahoga County. This was really hard for me, and I just want to speak out because I want to break this cycle, because I knew the way that I feel, and how I felt when I was going through that. I don't wish this on any woman, ever. And I want women to be able, even if it's just one of you, to feel comfortable to be able to come up and speak out about how you feel, because I think it's very important to get through your trauma. I've noticed that the more I keep stuffing my trauma down, the more it's affecting everyone around me. And I don't want that. I have people that love me dearly, and I don't want to hurt them anymore. So, at the Edna house, I moved up to, you go from halfway, and then for 3 months you sit down all day pretty much and do groups, and you go to AA meetings. And then the next 3 months you go and get a job and you pay back the Edna house. This girl, you think a lot of people are your friends growing up, and then you realize that they aren't. They aren't. I trusted this girl, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm healed now, and this is why I'm trying to come out and support all you women. I am still hurting myself. I still have trust issues. I still wake up at night drenched in sweat, thinking that the same situation is happening, like, of my nightmares. Every time I hear a loud boom, I think it's a gunshot. Okay, like, I'm still going through things myself. So this girl that I trusted said that she could get me a job doing car detailing. And I was like, you know what, sweet, like, I'm just gonna jump on it, so I can pay this Edna house back. She took me to a car garage on Chatfield. I don't know if you guys are familiar where that's at, but it's underneath the one, it's like by the 150th bridge. Pretty much underneath it. So, this girl had also recruited other girls for this man. Just putting that out there. So, the case, all these papers that I had to read through, just memories coming up, this guy's name is Greg, and he is currently serving 13 years in prison for, I think it's about, 14, 15 rape cases. The detectives or feds or whatever had showed up to my mother's house, and after I had gotten out of this, survived this, and interviewed me and asked me if I would testify against this man, and I did write out my statement, and said that I would testify. And eventually I did get subpoenaed, but he did plea out. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see him in court. So, Greg knew that I was recovering from substances because I was at the Edna house. He used my weaknesses. He used my childhood. He used fake love, sympathy, compassion to make me feel like I was going to be okay. Everything was going to work out, and he was going to help me get this stable job. And yeah. So approximately 2 weeks after I started working at the garage, and this was in early February, I then started noticing like different girls, coming in and out of this garage, and I did think that that was strange. Greg got me into the room of the garage one day, and I told him my story, and he felt bad for me, so he fed me an Opana. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it is a narcotic. It's a painkiller, very, very addicting. Yeah. I nodded off from the first Opana that he gave me, and Greg had started rubbing my legs and unbuckled my pants and reached down and inserted his fingers into my vagina. I was too high and too afraid of this guy because he at one point had put a revolver up to my vagina and said that if I gave out my vagina to anybody else that he would kill me. I had went up and got to the bathroom and was just in shock. I knew that I was about to go through one of the darkest times of my life. He kept feeding me Opanas, and even after the second Opana, I was sick off rip because of the dosage of the Opana that he was giving me. I was deathly sick. And I just wanted to feel better. And that's why I kept taking these pills. I feared this man for years. And I think that's another reason why I didn't walk out then and there. You know what I mean? He filled me with fear too. And I'll get into Stockholm syndrome later, but Oh crap, I'm sorry guys, hold on one second. Um, this was like such a blur for me. Like memories are definitely like more memories are popping up for me, but like I wasn't allowed to have a phone. I could only wear certain clothes. He was not feeding me. I was so malnourished that when you pressed on my skin, I would instantly bruise. I was so weak that I couldn't even get up to walk because I was so sick off of these drugs that he fed me. So, Greg got me working into his escort service. His own daughter would pick me up and take me to these appointments. With Greg directing her where to take me. And Greg would like tell me, don't ever go behind my back. Do not get these men's numbers, because I was, and I wasn't even allowed to have a phone. Like, almost like if I didn't want to get out of it, he was letting me know, like, look, you ain't getting out of this, pretty much. Each appointment was $300, and Greg said that he would give me $100 for each. I had to disassociate myself, literally shut my brain down while these men were having sexual intercourse with me because I did not want to be there physically. I did not get that $100. He said that $100 was for the Opandas. The Opanda money that I owed him. The one day I had gotten into an argument with Greg because he wanted to have sex with me really bad. And I wouldn't have sex with Greg. I didn't want to. I was staying at a hotel at the Economy Inn in North Olmsted while this was all going on, and while everyone was gone, I had my old boyfriend. I had actually gotten a hold of like a little Obama minute phone because I had asked somebody while everyone was gone. Like I finally like saw somebody outside and I used an Obama phone to get a hold of my boyfriend. Before all this happened. But my boyfriend had actually showed up at the hotel room and he Greg was knocking on the door. I mean, just pounding on it. And he continued to knock, and my boyfriend actually hid in the bathroom. And I tried to remain calm and quiet, and because I had no idea what the hell he was gonna do. 1 hour later, Greg and his friend yelled into the door and into the window that if I didn't open the door, he was going to break the hotel window and kill me. And I wouldn't put that past him. But he has been to prison before for killing someone. And this is facts. They still can't even find some of the body parts from his last murder case. That's what was said. So I opened the door, and Greg grabbed Ryan and started like smacking him around, and threw him on the bed, and held the same revolver that was held to my vagina to Ryan's head. His friend that was never found or arrested held a rifle to my head. I've been in certain situations like that before. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but when you're thinking that you're gonna die, like in that moment, like everything just... I just thought of my mom, and I thought of my family, because I really did think I was gonna die. But Greg told Ryan to get on his knees, and he said, if you don't repeat after me, this sentence, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out. He said, now repeat after me, or I'm gonna have him shoot Felicia's brains out. So he said, repeat after me. Say, I'm your bitch. So, Ryan gave it and said it, obviously, because none of us wanted to get killed. Greg then threw Ryan out of the room. I've still repressed so many memories from, like, the appointments, and I really don't want to get into them, because, like I said, I am still trying to heal from everything. But what I do remember is I felt so disgusting. I felt hopeless. I felt lost. I felt stuck. I felt scared. I'm not gonna say any names, but because I don't know if I can, but a detective and other police officers eventually busted the hotel room door down, and I was free. I got to go home with my mom. I was 18 years old. 18. And I got to go home to my mom. But I was so scared. I was still so scared of him that I left. I left town for a good month because I thought he was going to come after me and kill me. Being in that state of fear still sticks with me. Um, this is, like I said, this is not even a 30-second of my story. I have been through situations like this with other people that said that they were my friends. And when I get stronger and, while I heal, I'll be able to talk about them. Um, so, hang on one second, I dropped my papers. Okay, sorry. Having PTSD sucks. Like, I have gotten no sleep. I can barely think straight sometimes. I'm trying to find... Yeah, okay, here it is. So, I told you guys, like, the effects, like, during all of this. There's serious, physical and mental abuse that goes along with sex trafficking. The exhaustion, the starvation, the drugs, being exposed to serious health risks such as AIDS or HIV, in which, thank my God, that I did not get. And then mental health issues, which is the one that I struggle with very, very hard. So, along with that, I remember like when the detective showed up to my mom's house and I had to see a binder about this thick full of naked women passed out on hotel beds. And I was one of those. Lips purple, skin pale, 110 pounds. The after effects of this. I have anxiety. I fight depression. I fight panic disorder. I fight every single day, one day at a time, with my substance abuse disorder. I am in recovery. I've been sober since April 1st of this year. The Stockholm Syndrome, and my PTSD, which is one of the worst that I struggle. It's the worst for me. Um, Stockholm Syndrome is it's like a survival mechanism that women use because they're petrified to leave their abusers because they're in fear of being harmed or killed. And this PTSD and Stockholm syndrome has still stuck with me. Like anyone that's close with me, I get flashbacks during the day. Like it's hard for me to even go to the grocery store because I feel like someone is after me or this is gonna happen to me again, or his buddy that never got arrested sees me and kills me for speaking out. Um, a lot of these women, there's like a certain population that is more prone to being exposed to sex trafficking, and I'm going to tell you because I did a lot of research on this too. Some Where is it? Okay, so these are people that are more vulnerable. Women that have drug addictions, runaways, homeless youth, kids in foster cares that are trying to flee from violence, people that are involved in natural disasters, people that have disabilities, people that have mental illnesses, and people that have been abused in the past also. Alright. So, here's where the good part comes in. Because I am ready to I'm ready to speak up. I want to be the one to break this cycle. And even if I don't break it, I can at least say that I tried. This is a serious thing that happens. It's common in in certain obviously inner city neighborhoods. It's common, but these women are just put in that position, and they need to know their worth. They need to know that there is something so much better out there for them than living that life. I am, and I'm sure other women that have gone through this are emotionally, sexually, and spiritually destroyed after this happens to them. And I'm letting you, all of you know that are watching this right now, that there is hope. There is hope. It's stupid, but if you put your hand on your heart, like your heart's beating, and you breathe, we're all here for a reason. And I want to let you women know that I'm here. You can come to me now. I want to start support groups for all of us that have been involved in situations like these. So I'm going to start with my group. I made a group on Facebook that I haven't completely launched yet because I wanted to get this video. This video I've tried doing 4 times and it was too hard for me, and today for right now I got strength to do it. So okay, so my group is called the Lotus Path. It is called the Lotus Path because during the sex trafficking I was branded. Don't know if you guys know what branded means, but you are usually tattooed of your perpetrator's name or whatever they call you. I had a friend that was generous enough to get the brand covered, and I chose a lotus flower. It's right here. So yeah, that's why it's called the Lotus Path. So I started a fundraiser on gogetfunding.com. Again, my my mission is called the Lotus Path. Okay, so I'm gonna read you guys what my purpose and mission is. My purpose and mission here is to inspire, nurture, heal, and empower women that have survived sex trafficking. I'm actually just going to let you guys read this because I've gone over most of this. But today, with the help of my therapists and supporters, and of course my God of understanding, I am now feeling the strength to make it my mission and my purpose to share my story as it could be somebody else's survival guide. This is to let women know that they can come forward with no shame, no guilt, and not feel alone, and heal these battle wounds that we have endured, and thanking God for a second chance. Sorry, my computer did that again. Okay. I have a bunch of the research that I told you guys I did. I have a bunch of research on here about who's prone to it, the certain ages, the common ages. The more about the lotus flower, the cycle of its life. I don't know if you guys know about this, but it grows through the mud at nighttime, and when it blooms in the morning, the petals have they don't have residue or mud on them. and I think it's meaningful for me. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but and I'm not getting political either. But Trump has cut funding for victims of human trafficking. I am raising money for a stable home with a good system for my son, but I am also raising money um, for a safe house for these victims to go to so they can feel safe, take a shower, sleep, and if they want to, if they're ready, to heal. Um, so basically, what I'm doing, um, I am with these donations that I'm hoping I get. I'm going to make. Um, I'm going to be purchasing these little drawstring bags, and inside the bags are going to be bracelets, and on the bracelets there's going to be a little lotus pendant, and then there's also going to be one of the top 10 healing stones. I am again with my amethyst, I am very into stones. I feel like they have positivity and energy about them. So yeah, you're with the bracelet's gonna be the lotus pendant and then one of the stones. And then inside that bag, the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center, which is the center I currently go to, was kind enough to give me these cards. And these cards just have information and the human trafficking hotline. So that'll be also put in the drawstring bag. And then in the drawstring bag, there's going to be a little note about a short, note about my mission, my purpose, and then underneath that, the meaning of your stone that you get on your bracelet. So let me get. So again, with the help of my therapist, from Recovery Resources and this awesome lady at the Rape Crisis Center in Westlake, and they also very supportive women also in downtown Cleveland. And then there's me that you can get support from too. So I just think it's gonna be so powerful and beautiful if I can get a group of women together and we can be like a bunch of lotus flowers that bloom out of the mud and be able to heal together through the dark and back into the light. Please, please, please support anything. Anything will help because I need funding for these little bags that I'm going to be getting out. I'm so sorry I forgot to say this. The bags, these little bags, I'm going to be having people and myself, I'm going to put these little bags in common areas where these victims might be at, so they can call the hotline if they need to while they're in these situations. So there's going to be the bags in obviously hotels or public bathrooms or hospitals or doctor's offices or I'm going to have to think of more places that I was at, but these are where these bags are going to be at. Um, I just want to thank you guys for your time and listening to me. I know it was a lot, probably a lot to take in. It's been, 50 minutes. But that is my story. Um, and um, I'm ready to heal, along with helping other women to heal too in my process. So, um, again, I am starting the Lotus Path group on Facebook, and then the Lotus Path funding, where you can go donate at gogetfunding.com. And I will put these links below the video too, also. So, thank you guys for your time, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and don't ever take for granted even waking up in the morning, even breathing right now. Life is beautiful, and me and other women get to have a second chance. Thank you for listening.